Hello and welcome. My name is 𝐬𝐳𝐞𝐞𝐝. In my videocasts, I share success stories of women from all around the globe to inspire and encourage millions of women to write their own success story. I'm very happy to have Branca Good as my guest today. Many years ago, she has found her vocation. She's now an interior designer. She creates space where you can feel the beauty. How does she do it? Well, everything is in balance. Everything speaks the same language. I really look forward to finding out more about your story and your passion. Very warm welcome to you, Branca.
Thank you so much, Anita, for this really wonderful introduction. I'm surprised. I'm astonished. Wow. Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
Well, I'm really happy you could take the time to join me today. Is there anything you would like to add to my introduction? Or maybe later on during our interview?
Maybe you will discover more while the interview goes on, but the introduction was really wonderful. So
Thank
to add
you.
for now.
Thank you. So I'm curious to find out where does your passion come from for interior design? Were you always interested in it, or have you discovered it one day?
That's a really good question. I actually just discovered it one day. It's always been inside me, and it was so obvious, but I didn't see it. I lived for 6 years in Barcelona. Just after my bachelor, I studied in London and then I moved to Barcelona. And if I look at the pictures I took when I was in Barcelona, it's all pictures of details of design, architecture, and interior design, all of them. And I actually moved to Barcelona because of Antonio Gaudí. And Antonio Gaudí was the very first interior architect ever, because he really dedicated, as an architect, he dedicated his whole attention exactly as much inside as outside to the building. So this passion has always been there, but I didn't see it. And one day, and then there was I worked in marketing for over 10 years. And at some point, I collapsed. I had a burnout because of various reasons altogether. My system just said it's enough. And a very good friend of mine, she said, you know, Branca, you're going to be working for another 30 years plus. If you're unhappy already now, what's the point? I mean, change something, do something different professionally. And I thought, well, she's got a point there. And then I told her, well, what could I do then? And then we started brainstorming just, straight away. And she said, well, what about interior design? I mean, your flat is so wonderfully decorated. And the moment she said that, it was like, yes, it's like inside me, everything just shouted yes. And that's the moment where finally the reality outside mirrored me what I wasn't unable to see inside myself from my point of view. And that's where everything started.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's such a beautiful, well, you could call it love story.
It is a love story, and from that moment onwards, everything happened so quickly and so easily. Everything just came to me. And that's been 10 years ago now.
Oh my God, that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You say that, let me quote, I create harmonious spaces by talking to person, space, and material. I'm really curious to hear, how do you do that? Can you share some insights?
Yes, of course. Even though I'm not sure I will be able to explain it in a way that you can actually deeply understand what I do or even what I mean, but I will do my best with two different explanations. One of them is, there is people who have the ability to talk to animals. You have the horse whisperers, and I'm a room whisperer. That's just all the secret about it. I have a sensitivity which allows me to feel the room, to feel the needs of the room or of the space. Of course, my experience adds on to this sensitivity. My experience of seeing, okay, how much light is there? How are the proportions? What kind of materials are in here? What goes together and what doesn't go together? What speaks the same language, what doesn't? All this experience adds on to my intuition of this room needs more air, needs more light, needs more grounding, for example, with like heavy or materials or wood or anything like that. This is one explanation. And the other explanation is, imagine as a person, you have everything which is good for you. You have everything you need, and you have nothing you don't need and you don't want, and which is not good for you. What are you then? How do you feel? It's a question. Tell me.
Oh, if you have everything you need and want and nothing you don't need, and balance, harmony.
Exactly.
It's like a feel-good place.
Exactly. It's like you are whole, you are complete in a way. Nothing's lacking and nothing's too much, right? If you have everything you need and nothing which you don't need and you don't want is there, then nothing's too much and nothing's lacking. This is what I do. And this is when you are whole, you are complete, you are in harmony, and you are also healthy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do with the rooms. Exactly the same thing. I take out what is too much and I give them what they are lacking. And this is by talking to them, by feeling. Sometimes I really do ask questions. I just don't speak them out loud because otherwise my clients think I'm crazy. But I do inside me, I think some questions. Sometimes I really communicate with the room, with the space, and I say, what is it you need? Because sometimes I just come into the space and it's very clear and it's already talked to me, because, rooms are like people. If no one listens to them, they really, really need to communicate to someone until they find someone who listens to them. It's exactly the same thing as it is with people. So it's very similar, because with people, I communicate the same way. I ask them the right questions, and then I listen to all the information between the sentences. I listen to the fears behind what they say, or the desires behind what they are actually expressing. This is also not the most usual way of communicating with people, but it's like a deeper way. It's also a more direct, more in a way, it's more sincere way of communicating with people, because very often people have difficulties expressing their desires and their needs. That's what I find. Or they say, oh, I want this, but they don't realize what the consequences are if I create them what they are saying that they want. And then they find out, oh no, it wasn't this. And it's really important to understand what's underneath, what's behind the desire, which is verbalized, which is expressed. And it's very, very seldom that people are actually able to really say what's underneath. I have to either feel it or dig deeper with more questions. For instance,
I can imagine it takes time.
It takes time. Yes, it takes some time, but it's also, if they tell me they want something, I always ask why. Why do you want this? And then I give them like options so they can understand why I'm asking them for the reason behind. I'm trying to think of an example. If they tell me they want white walls, white walls is the worst thing you can ever do in a house. This looks white, it's actually pink, but you can't really see it on the video, but it's not white. I have no white walls anywhere in my office at all, because white walls are not natural to us. We come from we human beings come from the cave. Imagine, you know?
White cave.
And this is still inside us. This instinct of the cave as our home, this is still inside us. You know, this many thousand years have passed, but we haven't changed that much. But now we are creating all these white houses, and it's not natural. Because
interesting. Do you know where this comes from?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I research it. It comes from the moment where we introduced hygiene in our homes. So the white is to show it's clean.
Okay.
If it's, you know, if you have the gray stony walls, you can't really see whether it's clean or not, you know, whether the kitchen or the bathroom is clean, whether there is like mice running around or not. You can't really see it. While if it's white, then you can actually see whether it's clean or not. And for some weird reason, we got stuck there. You know, nowadays, no one needs to show off, hey, it's clean.
Yeah. Yeah, now we just get used to it. In an interview that you gave a couple of years ago, I read that you're inspired by Ikebana, the Japanese art of flower arrangement. Yeah, would you like to tell something about that? I found that really fascinating.
Yes, it's I have an affinity to Japan. 15 years now, so I'm quite a master already. You know, like everything in Japan, it has a very strong hierarchy of master, first master, second master, and so on, like in Aikido or any other kind of Japanese art is very hierarchical. And Ikebana is about proportions. It's about color, it's about shape, and it's about geometry. It's to practice Ikebana, you have to know so much. It's all full of rules. But this is one part. Then you always have the feeling for it. You can do it technically perfect, but the final touch is always given by the feeling that whether it's all right, whether this flower has to be like 0.5 centimeter shorter or 0.5 centimeter lower, or has to be turned around a little bit. All these things it's in the end, it's about feeling it. And Ikebana to me has been a really interesting school. And you know, again, I started doing Ikebana 15 years ago. I was not in interior design yet. And this is very curious again, you see?
All falls into place.
It all comes together. Everything comes together. And my way of creation, of creating harmony has so much to do with Ikebana, actually. But it's not that it comes from Ikebana. It's just they are both like parallel and very similar.
Beautiful, thank you.
That's
I can imagine you had quite a few projects, very different ones until now. Which one was your most exciting or challenging project so far?
The most exciting ever was creating the very first existing materials library 5 years ago, which is my big baby, my project, because there is no other similar materials library, not in Switzerland, not anywhere else I would know of, not in the way I created it, not in the way that it's not an archive. It's a place to create. It's a place where you have all the materials that you can use in interior architecture at one place. And my aim is not to sell one of them. My aim is to sell my service of putting them together in a way that it fits perfectly your room and it fits perfectly you, and the materials among each other come together in a harmonious way. So creating this materials library, which is a pioneer work, it's like something I've not copied anywhere. I made it up in a way. This was extremely exciting. The most challenging I've come across so far is what I'm in right now, because after 5 years, I'm expanding, and from 80 square meters, I'm now in 250 square meters. And this also means having a lot more space, a lot of possibilities more, but also a lot of costs, of course. And I will eventually, probably very soon, also have to expand on personal way, meaning that I will have to hire someone who helps me doing all this. And these are really big steps, which I'm still a bit afraid of, which are really huge challenges, but I will have to take them. There is no other way, you know. Challenges are here to be taken. That's always been my philosophy.
True. Sorry,
No
I had
problem.
to plug in my PC. But I was listening. It's amazing. Yeah, I can imagine. It's exciting. And I saw some pictures that you've shared on LinkedIn, how everything is coming together in your new place. And yeah, I love the furniture, and I hope one day I get to visit you and see and feel your place.
I will actually do the reopening the 4th of March. With a big party, and also I linked it with another big dream coming true, which is I'm gonna present my very, very first designed product. It's gonna be a premiere as a product designer, and I'm gonna launch this product family actually within the event of my reopening of the materials library. So this is a
sounds
big
wonderful.
dream coming true. Exactly.
That would be actually my next question. Is there a current project that you're working on or a dream that you would like to realize one day? So this is it then.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something really funny happening, that always when a dream comes true, then a new dream is born somehow. That's my life. And I'm a bit afraid of actually talking about the next dream, because it's so big that it's like sometimes for now, I really like to think of it as a dream, because I don't really know yet how to get there. But I'm not sure you know, but I created my own principle of creating beauty. The way I do interior design can be learned by anyone, because I wrote a recipe so you can do it. For now, I'm just teaching this at the school where I'm teaching for interior architects, younger interior architects. But I would like to create my own academy to teach this. So this is, I said it now, a very, very big dream. Who knows whether or how it's going to come into this world. But it's really funny. I already had a lot of, a few requests this month for workshops in the materials library. So this is something which is where I'm gonna put the focus on. Apart from all creating materials concepts for private people or also for architects, I want to like create these workshops where you can actually learn how to combine the materials in a harmonious way, but also how can you talk to people the way I explained to you before, so you can actually access their underlaying, their underneath desires, which is so much more fulfilling for both parts. So this is what I really want to teach.
This sounds inspiring. Can't wait to hear more about it. What is your personal secret to success, Branca?
Probably we first of all would have to define success. And I strongly believe that success means something different for each of us, to each of us. I don't think there is such thing as a universal meaning or of success. To me, success is when the world tells me, we love what you do and we want more. This is how I would define success. It means I'm doing the right thing by doing what I'm doing, and I contribute positively to this world by doing what I'm doing and by being whom I am. So how do I live this? First of all, by being totally myself. And for some people, this is really difficult. To me, it's probably easier for my personal story, but I've always like stuck to my way of being, even though the world was like not telling me that that was the right way of being, but I still kept being truthful to myself. I think this is a very, very important point. And then the second very important point is growth, whether it's personal or professional, and most of the time they go hand in hand, does not happen inside the comfort zone. So be courageous enough to go outside your comfort zone, because there is where the potential, your potential is. Your potential is unlived within the comfort zone. But if you want to like discover it, live it, and gift the world with it, then you need to step outside your comfort zone. And in another way, you could say live dangerously, because you know your system tells you as soon as you want to leave your comfort zone, your system goes like, no, we don't go there, this is dangerous. And then it finds a thousand reasons why you should not leave your comfort zone. And in this way, I mean living dangerously. Go out and risk. I'm not saying you should risk your life, but your system is telling you that you are risking your life. And in reality, nothing can happen, but your system does not want to break out. So my advice would be challenge your system and do break out, because that's where you find the treasures.
I couldn't agree more. So true. If you had the chance to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
My younger or my
your younger self.
My younger self. Believe in yourself and don't worry, you're gonna be fine, and you are so wonderful, and you will be even more wonderful. This is what I would tell my younger self, because my younger self was really lost not in a way that as I said, I've always been truthful to myself, but I was lost in the world. I did not fit in. So it was really hard because all the mirrors outside were not mirrors that I knew what to do with them. I'm not sure you understand what I mean. Do you?
Yeah.
Is it understandable?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would just say, you're going to be fine.
Thank you. My very last question. Which inspiring woman would you love to see one day in my videocast?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I don't know. I can't, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really sorry.
If you ever come across an inspiring woman, don't hesitate to write me.
Oh, of course I will. I will. I will.
Branca, thank you so much for sharing
you.
your passion. You're really such a heartwarming person. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for the interview, and yeah, see you soon.
I look forward to it. And you out there, thank you so much for listening. I hope you get some inspiration and you're inspired to maybe do a small makeover in your flat or your house as well, and try to feel what the room tells you. If you need inspiration, you know who you can turn to. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful day and hope to see you next time. Bye.